When did you first realize your child was different? My son Ethan was almost 3 when I first noticed something wasn't quite right. We were grocery shopping, just a normal Tuesday afternoon. I was checking apples for bruises when I looked over and saw him. He wasn't having a tantrum or running around like most toddlers would. Instead, he was standing completely still in front of the freezer section, his little hand pressed against the glass. "Ethan, honey, come help mommy pick fruit," I called. He didn't respond. When I walked over, I noticed his eyes. They weren't focused on anything in the freezers. They were staring through them, like he was seeing something beyond the glass. "Ethan?" I touched his shoulder. He turned to me slowly and said, "The lady with the red coat is very sad today." I looked around. There was no one in a red coat anywhere near us. On our way home, we passed an accident. A woman in a red coat was sitting on the curb crying as paramedics checked her over. Ethan didn't even look up from his car seat. He just said, "See, she's sad." My heart dropped to my stomach. That night, I heard him talking in his room. When I peeked in, he was alone, but clearly having a conversation. "Who are you talking to, buddy?" I asked. "The boy who lives in our ceiling," he said matter-of-factly. I laughed it off as imagination until he told me the boy's name was Charlie, and he died in our house a long time ago from being sick. Our house was only built 5 years ago, so I didn't think much of it. Then my neighbor mentioned that before our subdivision was built, there used to be an old farmhouse where a family lost their young son to pneumonia in the 1940s. His name was Charles. I started paying more attention. Ethan would know when the phone was about to ring. He'd tell me which days his dad would come home late from work before my husband even knew himself. At preschool, his teacher pulled me aside. "Ethan's very sweet, but he's been upsetting some parents," she said quietly. Apparently, he'd told his friend's mom that the baby in her tummy was sick and needed help. She wasn't even showing yet, hadn't told anyone she was pregnant. 2 days later, she was rushed to emergency surgery for an ectopic pregnancy. I took him to doctors. They found nothing wrong physically, but suggested he might be on the autism spectrum because of his intense focus and lack of eye contact. But that didn't explain how he knew things he couldn't possibly know. What scared me most was how casual he was about it all. Like it was perfectly normal to see and hear things nobody else could. "Mom, why can't you see them too?" he asked one night at bedtime. "They're so bright and loud." I didn't have an answer. When Ethan turned 4, things changed. He started getting headaches, bad ones that made him cry and hide under blankets. "There's too many voices," he'd whimper. "I can't make them quiet." We tried everything. Special diets, noise-canceling headphones, meditation techniques designed for kids. Nothing helped for long. I was folding laundry one afternoon when Ethan walked in with my dad's old watch in his hand. The watch had been missing for months. "Grandpa says you should have this back now," he said, placing it carefully on the dresser. My father had passed away just before Ethan was born. That's when I realized my son wasn't broken or wrong or making things up. He was just tuned into a frequency the rest of us couldn't hear. Instead of trying to fix him, I started listening. When he said a place felt bad, we left. When he wanted to give a stranger a hug because their colors are dim today, I let him, with permission. His headaches got better once we stopped fighting what made him different. Last week at the park, a frantic woman was searching everywhere for her lost child. Before anyone could stop him, Ethan walked straight into a cluster of trees and took the crying little girl by the hand. "She was hiding because she's scared of the loud swing," he explained to the sobbing mother. Later, I asked how he knew where to find her. He looked at me like I was the strange one. "Mom, scared people shine really bright. Didn't you see her? I'm still learning to navigate this world with my different child. Some days are harder than others, but I've stopped asking why he's this way and started asking what he can teach me about seeing beyond what's right in front of us. Because the truth is, maybe he's not the one missing something. Maybe the rest of us are."